Hello, welcome to the sprints. Let me pull up the comments. That would be helpful. Um, Let us know what you are reading in the comments. I will be reading The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I am obsessed with it. Like, it's so freaking good. I started it last night, but I've mostly just been reading it this morning. And I literally was just sitting out on I probably looked really odd to people, but I was sitting outside on my chair. Teddy was on my lap, and I was just staring off into the distance, which the chair faces just a parking lot. So people were walking by and I was just staring, but I was just listening to the audiobook because it was so good. um, but yeah, so I will be finishing up that book today. What are you reading, Lexi?
I will be finishing my video stuff in the first sprint and probably putting in laundry, which is done. But today I want to finish The Last House on Needless Street. I'm finishing my Hollow Weekend stuff today. Well, that's the plan anyway. So I need to finish that. And I also want to start and finish Follow Me to Ground, but this one's a novella. So
Is that, I feel like, was that in one of Gabby's videos where she said it was like too fantasy or something like that?
it might have been. I can't remember if she's read it. I know that Kayla has read it.
Oh, okay.
Gabby might have because I think Kayla really liked this one.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like even just flipping through it, it seems kind of weird. I know Gabby didn't like one of Eric LaRocca's because it was too fantasy,
Okay.
but I can't remember for sure if it
I'm
was this
obsessed with all of those horror covers that have a woman's face with flowers all over
one.
it. There's that one. There's House of Hollow, and I think it's called If I Disappear is another
Oh
one
yeah.
that's so pretty. I'm
Hmm.
obsessed. Hello, Cassidy. Hello. Hi, Aoife. I'm still reading How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. It is trash. Great title, though. I'm sad it's trash. Trying to find an audio, but I have no idea what I'm in the mood for. Yeah, are you still trying to do some spooky reads or going back into fantasy? I've been slowly listening to the audio for Shadow of What Was Lost too each day, and it's so freaking good. So I don't know if you're planning, probably you're planning to have the audio for that, but I've been liking that audio. Hi, Hannah, editing your TBR video and chasing your 1-year-old who is climbing on everything. Also, dishes and IDK life. Yep. I need to do some laundry at some point today, too, but I don't know if it'll happen today. I don't
I
have to leave the house tomorrow, so like I don't need clothes.
uh, yeah, I desperately need to do laundry. I've been putting it off like for a long time, so I'm running out of things to wear.
Yeah, that's how I do laundry too. I don't just do it regularly. I wait until I'm like absolutely desperate and actually need the clothes to do the laundry. And so
I
then
have a I have a washer and dryer in my house, so I don't know why I'm like this.
yeah,
It's
I have one. My apartment complex has a laundry room, but there's also hookups, but it's like slightly outside my house. There's my front door and then a little outdoor storage unit that all of our apartments have. Like that's just my storage unit, and that's where my
mm,
washer and dryer are. But I'm afraid to go into it in the nighttime, so it really limits when I can do laundry because anytime it becomes dark out, I will not go in there because it's dark and I'm afraid there's going to be bugs in there. So I don't go in there. So many times I will forget to put the clothes in the dryer before it's dark and I'm like, "Oh well, they're just sitting overnight and I'm going to have to rewash them tomorrow because there might be spiders in there. I don't know what's in there." We'll be swapping between Interview with a Vampire and The Bane Chronicles. Nice. I really want to read Interview with the Vampire because I loved that movie so much. Hello, I'm about 3/4 of the way through Her Majesty's Royal Coven and hoping to finish in the next few sprints. How are you liking that one? I remember seeing a lot about it when it first came out, but I don't think I've seen anyone actually read it. Hi, I've had a terrible day. I'm so sorry. Looking forward to doing some reading, going to start the Heartstopper yearbook. Well, I feel like that's a good one to read if you're having a terrible day because I think that will be like very heartwarming. Hi, going to start Daphne today. Ooh, oops. Hello, I'll be reading Broken by Karen Slaughter. I don't think I've heard of this Karen Slaughter book.
She has so many books though,
Mhm.
like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm not like a Karen Slaughter stan. I've read 2 of them and they were both just fine for me. They were both like 3 stars.
Mhm.
But I remember being surprised because I feel like mostly people talk about the same like 4 to 5 Karen Slaughter books, and then I looked on Goodreads at her backlist. I'm like, oh my god, there are so many more than I expected.
Yeah, a lot of them are series though, so
Mhm.
that's why there's not as many people reading them.
Reading The Royal Assassin. The series is just so good. I'm glad you're liking it. Hola, Kaylee and Lexi. Hello, Sammy.
Hi.
Hi, Brittany. Not sure if I'll be reading these sprints. Depends on how long you go for. Need to get stuff done on my to-do list first. I'm not planning on going as long as I have been accidentally going the last couple of times. The last couple of sprints, I've been going for like 5 hours, which I always try to do 3 hours and then it just ended up being 5. So I'm gonna try to do like around 3 to 3.5 hours of sprinting today, which probably will work out to like 3 sprints, depending on how much we chat. Maybe a fourth short sprint, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm tired and Lexi is tired and I don't want to sprint for 5 hours. Hi Don, reading The Counselors. I have this book. I need to well, I was wanting to read it in the summer and then I never got to it. So now I'm like, do I wait for next summer or do I read it now? I don't know.
Oh,
Do you know?
I'm not somebody that needs to read it in the season.
I
So,
don't need to read it in the season, but I have so many other books that I want to read that like if I don't get to it until summer, I feel like it could enhance my experience if I read it in the season. But I still think I could definitely enjoy it outside of the season.
that makes
But
sense.
well, I'm in the middle of Mary still, and then want to read Shadow mixed format with audio while I read along. But since I'm editing photos, I need an audio, and I'm like, nothing sounds right. Yeah, I've been following along with the book too for the audio, and it's been so fun. I'm so excited for you to start The Shadow of What Was Lost because I think you're gonna love it. Hello, reading Wild as the Witch. Nice. So it could be any genre, to be honest. I wish there were good dark romance audios on Scribd because I feel like that would be the vibe. Yeah, I don't know if your libraries have this or not, Cassidy, but one place that I was actually surprised to find so many dark romance audiobooks is Hoopla. Like my Libby doesn't have many and Scribd doesn't have many. But for some reason Hoopla has a lot of dark romance audiobooks, which is
Yeah,
weird.
Hoopla is like 75% dark romance.
Yeah,
From
there's so
what I like just from browsing, I'm like, where do these come from?
mm-hmm. Which is awesome because a lot of times it's really hard to find audiobooks for those besides paying for one through Audible.
Mhm.
Love the pumpkins and the pumpkin spice border. Thank you. Reading The Weight of Blood. Ooh, we're book twins. Hello, cooking your dinner. Nice. I'm kind of hungry right now too. I need to eat.
Mhm.
Finishing A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is a reread, so you can read the second and the third for the first time. I hope you like the second and third because I know a lot of people say that they're not great. At least they
I've
say
heard
that.
the second one. Yeah, I've heard the second one's good, but not the last one.
She says this until you accidentally go 5 hours again, which I wouldn't be mad about. Yeah, we'll see. I really do not think that's going to happen today, but we'll see. Hello, cooking your dinner, peri peri veggie wraps, and then might read something. That sounds amazing. I want that dinner. Yeah, I got it in the summer too and never got to it. The audiobook became available on Libby, so I'm just gonna do it. Yeah. The cover for that book is so nice too. I love it. Ooh, never tried Hoopla. I should do it. Yeah. Um, I don't know. It like your library has to pay for Hoopla, so you have to check to make sure it has it. But yeah, there's on Hoopla, I just finished listening to the Madison Kate series by Tate James and had a lot of fun with that one. They're definitely mindless enough that you could do it while editing photos. Hello, Katrina. Still dealing with that bug in my store. Okay. Here's my little roach story. I already put it in one of the chats on Instagram, but I was sitting outside, as I mentioned earlier, sitting outside, listening to The Weight of Blood, staring off into the distance with Teddy on my lap, living my best life, having a great time. And then a roach, giant. It looked like the size of a mouse. I swear to God, it was giant. The biggest roach I've ever seen went over my foot. Over my foot. I mean, thank God I was wearing shoes, but still, like I was wearing Toms, you know, they're pretty thin. Like I could feel this was a hefty roach. I could feel it going over my foot. And my feet were like sitting like this. It went over one and then died. Just
What?
yeah, just
I
died.
didn't read the group chat yet.
It died in between my feet, like just on the floor. It just rolled over and started like twitching and died. It's like, what the hell? And so it just is stuck out there. Obviously, I didn't even let Teddy touch the ground because I'm like, this roach is terrifying. So I picked up Teddy and we went inside and it's still out there. I checked right before the sprint started and it's still just dead out there. And I'm like, what happened?
That's interesting, but good, probably.
I mean, I'm glad it's dead, but I wish it wasn't dead right in front of my chair because now I'm gonna have to like move it or something. I don't know. I don't want to touch it. It's giant. It's it's like it's so
I know I've had so many roach experiences. Like,
scary.
oh gosh, I've spent literal hours chasing roaches around trying to trap them because I'm scared that they're gonna like fly at me.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So like it's it's bad.
Found in Mafia Mistress are in script. Oh yeah, I need to get to Mafia Mistress. Oh, and Nikki Sloan books are too. Um, why am I blanking on what book this is? I
I don't
asked you
know.
to give me details, Chrissy, and then I forgot. Let me scroll back up. Oh, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Okay.
I would have never.
I think it's a fantasy book, so it's decent, even though I'm 75% in. I feel like nothing has happened. It is setting up things for a series and really focuses on the characters and their histories. Interesting. Maybe that's why I haven't heard that much about it because everyone's just like, it's fine. Oh no, yeah, it was traumatic. Yep. I feel like it's kind of ruined sitting outside for a little bit for me because now I'm gonna every time I sit outside, I'm gonna be like, all right, we are going to go into our sprint. I have some ambiance. Let me do some math to figure out what we should sprint to. I think we'll sprint until the hour mark, so it's a slightly over 45 minutes. And I have this fun fall castle ambiance, and it's daytime, which is good. I always try to find like daytime ambiances for the daytime sprints. I know it's not daytime for everyone in the comments, but you're subjected to my time zone. I'm sorry. All right, so I will see everyone in about 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back, everyone. How did you do? Let us know in the comments. It's kind of funny since I usually do the 45-minute sprints. I have exactly 45 minutes of listening time left in The Weight of Blood.
I love when that happens because, like, it's really a bummer when it's like 48 minutes and you're like,
Mhm.
no.
So I will finish it up with the next sprint, and I'm still obsessed with it, loving it so, so much.
It's so good. I think it's one of my favorites of the year.
It's going to be mine. I mean, I'm not done with it yet, but I think it's one I definitely top 3 of what I've read this month, and
Mm.
it's amongst the other books that I've said are going to be favorites of the year, so it's definitely like a favorite of the year too. I need to like start making a list because I keep saying like, oh, this is a new favorite, and I feel like I'm saying that about a lot of books, but like this book is definitely a new favorite.
Mhm. It's hard though because you read so many books that, like, if somebody said like that 5 books in a month were their like new favorites of the year, like that's a lot for most people. But how many have you read this month? Like 30 at this point?
I think it's
Probably
over
more.
30.
Yeah, so like 5 is not that many. So I think it's okay to say that multiple books are like new favorites of the year because
Yeah.
like I can't imagine picking 10 books out of like 300.
Yeah, I'm at 263 books read for this year so far. I want to count how many I've read this month because I actually don't know. I just know when I was like earlier in the month, I already had kind of hit a big number.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Scrolling. Oh, Teddy, no, no. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 35 books, and when I finish The Weight of Blood, it will have been 36 books for this month so far. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm having a great time this month. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
what
it's
happened.
not like you're like forcing yourself to read.
Yeah, I've just been in like a huge reading mood with all these
Mhm.
ebooks, and a lot of them have been novellas, and I did that middle grade horror reading vlog, so middle grade is like not
Mhm.
as long, but yeah, I don't know.
I think I've read 21, 22. I don't know. I can look on the story graph because I can look at my monthly breakdown.
Mhm.
But hopefully I'll finish 2 books today. And I think tomorrow and the next day, whatever that day is, I don't know. Wednesday, I am going to be doing a 24-hour reading vlog, like in 48 hours, and I'm going to be reading the Goosebumps books. So,
Oh,
like, in theory, I should be able to get through 10 at
yeah.
least. Like, they're pretty short. Um, so, like, my number is going to significantly jump because of that. But, like, yeah, my sleep schedule's already messed up, so I might as well just, like, do this video now and then
True.
fix my issues in November.
Yeah, it's like because sometimes I feel like untrustworthy when I'm saying like all these books are favorites, but like when we read so many each month, it like makes sense that
Mhm.
there's gonna be multiple favorites. But yeah, I think I missed my mid-month check-in because I had already hit like too many books to talk about in one video at the mid-month check-in. So instead of doing like a mid-month check-in and a wrap-up this month, I'm just doing one end video where I think I'm gonna do like my top 10 books of October to talk
Mhm.
about them because
Yeah.
it's just too much for
You
one
could
video.
even mention all of the titles, but, like, not say anything about them. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
maybe
then
I'll do top 10 with some details and then at the end be like, "And I read all these," and just give literal
Mhm.
like the ratings and that's it.
Yeah, that's how like, I did that wrap up that was 6 minutes long recently, and everyone's like, "How'd you do this?" I was like, "I literally said the title and what I thought of like this book was 4 stars." And then
Uh-huh.
I moved on.
Um, did you say how you did for reading?
Oh, no. We got talking about things and I forgot. I finished my video, so I was like doing some filming and like last minute editing, and then I listened to 6 or 7% of The Last House on Needless Street. I'm 41% in now.
Ooh. Is it still super enjoyable second time?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost even better because I already appreciate this lady's writing, but like even more so. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Don't even like to go outside until it's cold and all the bugs are dead. Yeah, I am so looking forward to it finally getting cold here. I mean, it hasn't gotten cold yet here. I don't think it will really get cold until like maybe December, if not January. I live in Texas and it does have like there is a winter time here. It just takes a long time to get to the winter time. Um, love the ambiance. Yeah, it was pretty. The border, thank you. Reading Kingdom of the Feared, book 3 on page 290. I hope you're liking that, Taylor. I haven't read these. Yeah, book 3. I haven't read this book yet. I liked the first 2 books though, so I want to read this one. If I was in this ambiance, I would devour that pretzel and I would devour those cookies like Cookie Monster. When I saw this comment, Kim, and you made me laugh. So if you saw me laughing in the corner, that was because of this. And I was like, yeah, I want a pretzel right now too, so badly. Like pretzels are such a common snack that are very hard to get, like unless you're at a mall or some sort of
Soft pretzels, yeah.
yeah, some sort of like sports game or something. Like where can I just go get a pretzel right now?
I mean, they make frozen ones that you can heat up in the microwave.
Are those good?
They're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not as good as if you're gonna get one like at some sort of game, but they're good enough.
Also, I like that the second comment was hi. Hi, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to watch House of the Dragon finale and then join back in. I don't mean you're probably gone, but I hope everyone's liking the finale. I've got behind on that show. I only watched the first 4 episodes. I was really liking it though. I don't know why I stopped. I just am bad at keeping up with TV shows. Hi, Sarah. Reread The Laws of Skies today, and yep, it was good. I'm
That's
glad you liked it. I when we were all talking about this book the other day or yesterday, I guess, I didn't know what it was. And I just looked it up from Sarah's comment for the first time, and it said like Winnie the Pooh meets Blair Witch Project as like the little premise. Let me double check that was correct.
Yeah, I haven't looked into this book yet.
Sorry, Goodreads is taking forever to load. Oh, it was from me Googling. I'm like, it doesn't say that
Wow.
on Goodreads. I'm like, how did I make this up? Yeah, okay. It says it when you
Up.
like Google the book, and it says Winnie the Pooh meets the Blair Witch Project in this very grown-up tale of a camping trip gone horribly awry. Like, that sounds so good.
Interesting.
I have no idea what they mean when they say Winnie the Pooh meets the Blair Witch Project. Like, what? That sounds very unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
Hi Shannon, joined the last reading sprints. We'll probably be continuing reading Vampire Academy. Is that your first time reading it or a reread? Got through 30 pages of these Twisted Bonds. Ooh, I need to read this book. I really liked these Hollow Vows, but haven't continued on yet. Just joined at the end of those sprints, started Such Sharp Teeth. Is that the new one from that author?
Rachel Harrison?
Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize that Rachel Harrison, the author of Cackle, also wrote The Return or something like that. And I haven't read The Return, but I've really been wanting to read it, and I never connected the 2 books. Got to part 2 in just over 100 pages. Nice. Have you read House of Hunger? I have not. Lexi, have you?
No, I'm still waiting for my library hold.
Yeah, I literally just got it in the mail yesterday.
Ooh.
So I'm excited to read it. I've been saving this for Halloween weekend because I'm like so excited for this one and Darcy Coates Gallows Hill. Those were like my
Mm.
plus The Weight of Blood. I started The Weight of Blood early, but this and Gallows Hill are the two like most anticipated releases, and so I'm saving them for the last weekend during Halloween weekend because I just wanted to save the best for last, hopefully. Folded laundry while watching TV. I don't fold laundry. Maybe that's like exposing myself, but I just don't. I just shove it in the drawer. That's it.
I usually hang up a lot of my stuff.
I hang up like my bigger sweaters that don't fit in the drawers, but then I just shove stuff in drawers and I feel like it's not wrinkled. I have a little like steamer thing for if stuff gets really wrinkled, but I don't know. Maybe my clothes are like all cheap. Maybe if you had fancier clothes, you would need to fold them, but mine are just like t-shirts, so it doesn't matter. Read nothing. Nice, nice. I've read 109 so far and think only 9 have been given 5 stars. See, like I sometimes wish I was like you though, Cassidy, because that means like when you give a book 5 stars, it means so much. Like that is like amazing. Where me, I give way more books 5 stars, but they all feel like 5 stars for me. But I just feel like then the viewer, people paying attention to my reviews, it means less from me than a 5 star means coming from Cassidy because she doesn't give as many 5 stars. But I don't know. I'm not going to change how I rate because that's how I feel. But sometimes I wish I felt differently, you know?
Yeah, no, I like giving multiple 5 stars. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be sad if I only had 9 5
Yeah.
stars this
Yeah.
year.
Because there's like some books that I would consider like 6 out of 5 stars, like top favorites.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how Cassidy does her 5 stars, which
Yeah.
totally makes sense, but that's just
Mhm.
not how I do it. But I need to like start being better about if a book is like a 6 star book or like a new favorite top 5 star versus just a very fun, very awesome 5 star, but not like favorite of all time.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because there's no like real rules for the rating system. Like, it's all like everyone can do whatever they want. So, like, a 5 star for someone could be like, even with the same feelings, could be a 3 star for somebody else.
Yeah. Hmm. And I like that there's no rules because you just gotta rate how it works best for you. But
Hmm.
it does make it where when you're watching other reviewers of books, you just have to like pay attention to see how they personally rate stuff
Yeah.
about how many books that I've read. Yeah. I don't normally, this is the first year I've read this many books. Last year I thought I was like superhuman because I read, which this is still fantastic, but just to give you like a comparison, last year I thought I was like crazy for reading 150 books last year. And so now that I'm already, I forget what number I was at, like, but close to 250, I think I said.
Yeah.
And the year's not over. Like this year is just, I don't know what happened this year.
Yeah, I read 140 last year and I'm at 153 or 4 this year. So, like,
Mhm.
I haven't been trying to read more. I just already have read
Yeah.
a lot more. Also, I track everything on the story graph, so that's how I can see like my month by month breakdown.
Yeah, I need to get better about doing Storygraph. I want to like re-upload the like Goodreads files to Storygraph because um there's just too many books. Like I took too long of a pause between
Mhm.
uploading books to Storygraph, and now it's like overwhelming to go back through and upload all of the books since I stopped using Storygraph. But I love Storygraph. It's just Goodreads. It's such my habit because I've been using Goodreads for like 10 years that
Mhm.
it's hard to switch over and not go back to Goodreads. But I don't like Goodreads. It's just so normal to me that it's hard to switch
Yeah.
to Storygraph.
It was really weird to switch at first, but I've been
Mhm.
using the story graph for like 2 years now, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of great books this month too. That's awesome. Yeah, this month has been fantastic. I've only read 10 books this month. Yeah, you've been slumping a little bit, Kim. So
That's
sad.
still a lot. generally, though. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe not for you, Kim, but
Yeah. 10 books is still a lot. I didn't mean 10
oh
books
no,
as, like,
yeah.
indicating slump. I just know for people watching, like, I know Kim has been slumping. But yeah, 10 books, especially when we're only on October 24th, is still pretty good. So for you to have a slump and still do that,
Mm-hmm.
not bad. 42 pages. I've been so motivated this October. Storygraph says I've read 25 this month, though there was a novella, a graphic novel, and a poetry collection in there. Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of novellas in mine for sure. Horror novellas are just so fun. You got to have some novellas during October. But longer ones balance out, so I don't care about counting the short ones. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Ava, because I read a lot of like super long fantasy ones too, and I have read a couple of those long ones this month that I'm like, I still feel fine saying that I've read the 30 something books because some of them are like 800 plus pages, you know?
Even if they were all novellas, though, it still would be okay.
Yeah, still definitely would be fine. Cuz who cares? It's just for you. And
Yeah.
have 132 pages left, not bad. I cringed so hard when you said this lady.
I don't know why I said that. I don't normally say that, so ignore me.
I don't even remember you saying this lady. I was
I
like,
just like,
did I say
no, it was
it?
me. I don't know.
What was the context?
I was talking about Katrina Ward, but instead of saying her name, I said this lady.
Oh. And Sarah immediately called you out. Cookie crumbs would be flying all over the place. I would be double fisting them. And honey mustard to dip the pretzel in. Yeah, that does sound pretty good. I want cookies and
I definitely prefer like nacho cheese for my pretzels, but honey mustard is definitely my second favorite.
I've never like I haven't had many pretzels that are just plain pretzels. Like I feel like the only soft pretzels I've had were from Auntie Anne's, and I usually get the like pepperoni pretzels that they have there.
Oh,
And then you just dip it in the marinara because it's like a pizza pretzel.
mm-hmm.
Saying hello. Hello, continuing just like mother. I just finished this one. It's a lot of fun. Hello. Chilling in the hospital. I'm anemic and no one knows why. Oh no, Christy. I'm so sorry you're in the hospital. I hope everything ends up being okay. I'm glad we could accompany you to the hospital though. Don't even rate books, literally don't care. Yeah, I used to before I started a booktube channel give out a way more 4 and 5 stars than I do now. Just
Oh, I'll
because
be right back. Sorry.
okay, no worries. Just because I don't know, before I had people who cared about my reviews. I literally had no friends on Goodreads. It was just for me, and I feel like I normally like the books that I read, and therefore I was just giving out mostly 5 and 4 stars. But now I'm a little bit more critical because I'm aware that people are also watching me to get feedback on books, even though it's so personal and so subjective that I'm trying to make sure I'm differentiating between a book that I liked, a book that I thought was okay, and a book that I loved better than I used to do that. Haha, always say my 5s are my top 5s and 4s are still favorites for me. Yeah, I really like how you rate books, Cassidy. I can't do that, but I really like how you do it. I've given 27 5 stars this year out of 110 books read. For me, 5 stars is something I will reread again. Yeah, it's not necessarily something I will reread again, but it is a 5 star for me. It's just a book that I like loved every second of it, even if were like slight issues I had with it. I can give a book 5 stars even if there were like tiny issues, but the issues just can't have impacted my enjoyment because I rate based off of enjoyment. Like I think last month I read 20 something books. Like I think I read around 28 books last month, and I gave 6 books 5 stars. So that kind of tells you like my ratio normally. Also, 5 stars are Ollie's books I find technically strong as well. Can't give a book 5 stars if I just loved it. Yeah, see, that's where I'm a little bit different than you, Cassidy. Don't rate books. I did when I got back into reading in 2019, also in 2020, 2021, and this year I've decided not to rate anymore. Yeah, I see a lot of people on Goodreads not rate books at all. I've always liked rating books, but I just used to not be as critical. Where I know a lot of people would say I'm not very critical now, but I've gotten much more critical now than I used to be. Just finished dinner, and in the sprint, I read Heartstopper yearbook from cover to cover. It was lovely. I'm so glad it was lovely. The Heartstopper show it feels like a warm hug. That show, I love it. Teddy is very possessive of you, Kaylee. He guards you. He does anytime he like starts to bark for something that's outside. He also will like move from wherever he is in the apartment and come right next to me to bark at something. And I don't know if that's him guarding me or just he feels more like safe when he's next to me. I'm not sure, but it's cute. Hello, Emma. Original goal for this year is 45. I'm at 92 or 93 right now. That's awesome, Christy. Yeah, we're all like crushing our goals, it seems like. Not that it matters, like, who cares about your goals, like the reading goal, but it's still fun to keep track. Something about this year, we're just all reading way more than we normally do. Love Storygraph. It's so aesthetically pleasing, and since using it, stopped using Goodreads. Yeah, I love the stats that you get on Storygraph. They're so much fun to see, but I just
Right.
no worries. I need to get back in the habit of using Storygraph. Is everything okay, Lexi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Adam called me like 4 times. Somebody hit his vehicle, but like he's fine. Like, but he was just calling me to complain.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I have 5 missed calls.
Yeah, that's a little worrying.
Yeah.
That's so annoying that someone hit his car. I feel like any sort of car issue, even if it's not your fault and so you won't have to pay for it, is still just so stressful to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a few people say that's no longer a feature. Don't quote me on it, but I heard that you can no longer import to Storygraph from Goodreads. They did away with the feature. I don't know though. I did this in July or August, so it was still a feature a couple of months ago. But yeah, I don't know if that's
I'm
not true
looking
anymore.
now.
Yeah, because if that's not true, that's so sad. Because I don't want to import that many books by like just rating them all myself. Ooh. Like the pretzel nuggets from Auntie Anne's. Yeah, those are actually the ones I get, the little pretzel nuggets with the pepperoni and cheese on them.
You can still do it. But if you import everything twice, like it will add it to like the books you already imported 2 times. So it might be easier to delete your account and start over so that you don't have duplicate stuff.
Yeah, probably would be easier. I don't think I even like follow anybody on my Storygraph account, so
Mm.
it would be easy to just delete and restart over because
Yeah.
there's nothing on there really. Imported Goodreads like 2 days ago, deleted all of my information and started again. Yeah, I think that's what I will do because I stopped using it halfway through last year and wanted to get back into Storygraph again.
Oh, you can delete like your data without deleting the account.
Okay, good to know. Hello, glad I caught the sprint. Reading A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really want to read this one. I know Jennifer L. Armentrout. A lot of people have some mixed opinions, but I find her books so fun. 5 stars is my absolute favorites. Books that make me go, wow. A lot of the books I love only get 4.5. Yeah, makes sense. In the next sprint, I'll be picking up The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels or her by Janice Hallett, her new one that's out in January. I'm not sure if she's taken off in the US.
Yeah, Janice Hallett was the one that wrote The Appeal.
Oh, yeah, I own The Appeal.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so cool. I haven't read it yet, but
I didn't love it. Yeah. It like, I thought you were gonna be trying to solve the case the whole time, like as a detective, and that's not what it is.
It's a cool concept though. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read it yet, so I'm not sure of my opinion about the execution. I can still like books I give 3 or 3.5. Yeah, I think my 3 is a little bit lower than some other people's 3s because my 3 is like fairly indifferent, but more positive than negative. But it's not like a book that I really, really liked if I gave it a 3, you know? And I know a lot of people, they will give books 3s that they really, really liked. And for me, it's just like it was fine. That's like my 3.
Yeah, me too.
No, I love the book rating conversations, Cassidy. It's always so interesting to see how other people do it. Whenever I fly somewhere, I get Auntie Anne's. It's the best treat. Yep, literally, I flew somewhere in August, and that's what I got in the airport was Auntie Anne's. So good. I got one of the giant lemonades from them though because their lemonade is so good. It's like so sugary and delicious, and it's they like taste like melted slushies with the flavorings that they put in them.
Oh,
But I got a giant one and I felt really bad because I had a window seat on the plane and I was getting up to pee like every 30 minutes. Like,
oh.
oh no. So I will not be repeating that mistake, but hello. I think you're critical still. You can still rate on enjoyment and give lots of fives that have in-depth thoughts on books, which I think you do well. Thank you, Cassidy. Yeah, I've been trying to get you know, I I'm happy with how I rate books. I'm not gonna try to change anything, but there was just a moment like when I was starting book 2 where I was like, okay, I need to be more critical than I have been before I like rated books publicly. OMG, done. Holy crap, video is uploading for Thursday, and I'm like literally ready for. I added the literally in there. I don't know where that came from, and I'm like ready for bed. Yeah, as soon as these sprints are over, I'm going to bed. I don't think I'll be asleep, but I am going to my bed and just laying in bed for the rest of the day. OMG, I love the appeal. I took pages of notes trying to figure it out. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, we are going to read again. We are going to read until the 15-minute mark, which is slightly over 45 minutes, but that way I can finish my book since I have exactly 45 minutes. It needs to be slightly over. Oops, let me share the ambiance. And I'll see everyone in about 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back, everyone. I literally just finished my book like 2 seconds ago. It was so good, so amazing. If you missed what I was reading, I just finished The Weight of Blood, and yeah, it was incredible. One of the best books I've read this year, I think. And oh my god, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you
Yeah,
do? Oh,
I got my video like finished and just posted it. So that took the whole time because I had to make a thumbnail and the took forever.
mhm. I saw that you had uploaded a new video. I'm so excited to watch it. So everyone, go check out Lexi's new video because it's such a cool concept. She had her friends recommend 5-star like books that they thought she would give 5 stars. So not necessarily their favorites, but books that they think will be her favorites, which is so cool, so fun.
Thank you.
Let me find the comments. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. Actually, I think I might read a little bit more in the fantasy book I'm working on, The Shadow of What Was Lost Next Sprint, but I'm only reading a little bit of that each day, so I don't know what book
Mhm.
I'll start next that I'm like actually gonna read a ton of today, but we'll see. Time to make lunch. Yeah, I ate a yogurt parfait in that sprint. It was really good. That's like my meal that I'm eating all the time right now is just microwave a little bit of frozen fruit to make it not frozen anymore. Put some yogurt on it, put some granola on it. So freaking good. I think I'm falling down a Netflix rabbit hole. I watched The Watcher and now I'm watching Luckiest Girl Alive. I'm curious if you will like The Luckiest Girl Alive because I'm curious about that movie. I don't know. I might watch it at some point. I read the book, so I'm kind of curious. Have you read that book?
Nope. I didn't even really know it was a thing. Like I didn't know they made a movie out of it until Sprints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know there was a movie until it just popped up on my Netflix homepage and it looked familiar, so I looked it up and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I did read that book." It's a thriller book. That's why I was asking if you've read it,
Mm.
but I didn't really like the book, so
Um,
it is not lost on me that I'm reading Anne Rice's Blood Communion and I'm having blood drawn out of my body at a record pace. Well, listen, Christy, you're just really going above and beyond with, setting the correct vibes for your book. Vampires are everywhere. Doctors are vampires confirmed. Reach your page goal. Congratulations, Shannon. The Weight of Blood was so good. Yeah. And I can confidently say it's the best audiobook I've ever listened to.
it's so good.
The audiobook, like, because my issue, I love audiobooks, as a disclaimer, but like sometimes audiobooks can be a little bit confusing when you shift point of views in
Hmm.
the middle of a chapter. So,
Yes.
because in a book, when you're shifting point of views, there's like a little space in between paragraphs
Hmm.
that kind of signifies to the reader, hey, we're switching to something else here. But in an audiobook, we don't get that same sort of space. But in this book, there's a little noise that happens every time we're shifting to a different place or a different person, even when it's not a different chapter. And it was such a good idea that this audiobook did because it made it so easy to grab hold of who we were following at what point, and it signified so well like, okay, we're shifting to a different person now, and it was so well done.
Yeah, I agree.
Love The Weight of Blood too. Yeah, amazing. Hi Maria. Didn't realize you were sprinting, but this is a great distraction from the work I don't want to do. Glad to provide that distraction. Yeah. I I think we're gonna sprint for one more sprint after this, but it's gonna after that sprint, like, why am I saying this in the most confusing way possible? Next sprint is the last sprint. I was trying to say, like, after next sprint, we're not gonna do another sprint. I'm like, that is the worst way to explain that next sprint is the last sprint. Got to 16% of Slewfoot. I want to read Slewfoot so bad, but I just don't have access to a free copy of it.
I got it from my library, like the physical copy, but I'm so intimidated by it because it's like the book itself is giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking for a physical copy from my library. I was looking for ebooks from my 4 different library cards, audiobooks from the 4 different library cards, and then My Hoopla is one of the ones that does not have the audiobook for it, so
Yeah, me too. It's really
sad.
a bummer.
Mhm. I'm really enjoying rereading The Two Towers, though I might switch books soon and read something physically. Yeah, I always like to have a physical book and an audiobook going. That's why like next sprint I think I will be listening to The Shadow of What Was Lost and following along physically, but then I'm going to be choosing 2 new books to start, like one audiobook and one physical book. Cuz I think I'm debating between neither of these will like mean much to you, but I'm debating between Glow Gold. I forget the title of it, but it's book 4 in the Plated Prisoner fantasy romance series, or Stolen Heir, which is the second book in Sophie Lark's Brutal Birthright Mafia romance series. Both of those were on my TBR for October, and I haven't gotten to them yet. But I don't have the audiobooks for either of them, so
Mm.
which is fine. They're like Kindle Unlimited reads, and it's hard to
Oh,
get
yeah.
for them. Hello. Just got here. Currently reading Dark Note by Pam Godwin. Ooh, nice. American way of saying yogurt always makes me do a double take. Oh yeah, don't you guys say yogurt or something like that?
Weird. I think there's a pronunciation situation that happens a little later.
Okay. Oh yeah, here. No, we say yogurt, not yogurt. Yogurt. Yeah, it's kind of right. I'm
Yeah.
probably butchering it, Emma. I'm sorry. It's like my brain knows what a like English accent is supposed to sound like, but my mouth cannot reproduce it.
Mhm.
I'm in between books, but need to decide on my next read tonight. Um, do you pronounce it? Oh yeah, asking about the pronunciation. Want to read that book? Just bought it to read before I watch the film for Luckiest Girl Alive. Yeah, a lot of people do like it. I don't know. There's something in that book that I'm learning I don't like to read about in books. Read 43 pages, so intrigued already. I'm glad you're liking it. Finished Sleaford yesterday, and I'm in a mini slump because it was so good. Ooh, that makes me so excited for Slewfoot. But yeah, I feel like whenever you finish a good book, it's hard to start a new book right away.
Mhm. Especially if you're trying to read physically.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Love the production of the audiobook. Yeah. I feel like I didn't have a good answer because you see this question come up all the time of like, oh, what book should I get with my Audible credit, or what book should I get, like specifically asking for an audiobook recommendation. And I'm like, well, I have a lot of audiobooks that I've liked, but it's not like they stand out as being spectacular audiobooks. They're just like
Mhm.
good books that I happen to read through audio format.
Yeah.
But this I feel like is a good recommendation for like I feel like you are gaining something by reading it through audio for The Weight of Blood.
Mhm.
No, I'm sure the story is fantastic without the audiobook, but the audiobook is doing something extra than the physical book is doing with
Mhm.
extra little sounds that it's adding in and stuff. Um yogurt. um just bought The Weight of Blood yesterday, hoping to get to it this week. Yeah, I hope you love it, Brittany. Different ways of saying the O. I'm going to make The Weight of Blood fit a prompt for November readathons. Yes, please do. So good.
And I think it's better than Carrie.
Oh, for
Like,
sure better.
way
This
better.
this is like what I wanted Carrie to be from the beginning of like,
Mhm.
and it's Carrie and more because it's doing
Yes.
so many more important things than Carrie is doing. But if you just take Carrie at its like base level, it's even just doing the base level of Carrie way better than Carrie did, you know?
Mhm.
Got there in the end.
Oh, that's good to know.
Slewfoot is fast read, read in a weekend. Yeah, that is good to know. Yes, Slewfoot really quickly as well. Didn't want to put it down. That is very good to know. Um, I've been seeing lots of people read it, like even people we've been on sprints with, and it's making me have FOMO. I want to read it too. No, you said it pretty right. Good. I felt ridiculous. Just started Verity on the last print so far. I'm intrigued. I think I'm going to like it. I love Verity. That book is wild.
It's one of the Audible like included extra books until the end of this month, and then it goes away, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to read it right now, but also if I don't, I probably will never read it.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a fun time, a fun, wild time. Is it anything like objectively spectacular? No. But is it a fun time? Yes, in my opinion.
So many people love it.
I've been enjoying Part of Your World on audio. It's a romance book. The narrators are great. I think I know this romance book. I think
I've read this one
Oh,
actually.
you have? Did you like it?
Yeah, I give it 4 stars. I don't usually give romance books 5 stars anyway,
Mhm.
though. So like,
So that means it's pretty good for you.
yeah,
Oh no, you
sorry.
didn't, Lexi. Carrie White is a hero status to me. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't hate Carrie. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was like
I also gave it 3 stars. Yeah.
yeah. Where like this book is solid 5 stars. Like
Mhm.
this is one of those books like I was talking about earlier where it's like a 6 out of 5 star rating.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, we are going to do a one last sprint. Are you good with a 45-minute sprint for the
Mhm.
last one? Okay. So that means we would go until the 15-minute marker. Yes. Let me pull up the ambiance. I had to like do the math in my head, even though it's so easy to do the math. I feel like it's way harder to do it on the spot in front of people than it is
Mhm.
in there.
Do you want to add last sprint to that?
Oh yes, I do. Let me fix it.
I always forget.
Yeah.
Except whenever, like, if I'm not in charge, I remember, but if I am in charge, I forget.
I'm normally pretty good at remembering. I just think I'm not used to only doing 3 sprints
I
because
know.
I've been doing so many recently by accident. Oh, and Maria said, yeah, it's sitting at 4 stars for me right now too, Lexi.
Yeah. I thought it was really good.
Okay, I'm going to share the ambiance and I'll see everyone in about 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back. Um, how did everyone do? I am on page 170 of The Shadow of What Was Lost. But I started the sprint by watching Lexi's video, and then I got distracted in The Shadow of What Was Lost because I realized that there's like differences in the audiobook versus the like physical book. And I think what happened is the audiobook is an earlier version of the physical book. Like they just got sent some like earlier thing. I don't know. Like the differences are that the physical book has more information about stuff. Like five
Whoa.
sentences in the physical book will be like one sentence in the audiobook, which is kind of annoying because this is a fantasy and we need this information. So I feel
Yeah.
like having the audiobook having less information about things is like, I don't know. It's annoying. It's not happening super often. Like I only noticed it happen one time and then I was talking to someone and they said they noticed it happen a different time. So hopefully it's just those like two little moments. But
Hmm.
now I feel like I'm gonna have to be like paying super close attention to both to like note down every time there's a difference. But so I like didn't get as much read in it as I wanted to because I was writing down the exact differences. And there was a Discord for this book because it's for the Backlist Book Club, and I was just like typing in the Discord what the differences were. But
Hmm.
yeah, interesting. It's not like impacting my enjoyment because I'm still loving the book, but it's just weird.
Yeah, that's so strange. Hmm. I got to 59% in The Last House on Needless Street. I'm currently like they're at the mall right now. And it's just so it's all so interesting.
The mall scene is the scene that I want to reread the most out of all
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah.
I will say nothing more because I'm so afraid of accidentally spoiling that.
I
But
know it's so hard to talk about this one.
mhm.
But like even though you just read it, I think you would still be entertained the second time because there's so many things. Like every chapter, there's clues.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah, and I missed all the clues the first time I read it. Missed everything. Um, yeah. Also, I put the link to Lexi's video in the chat. This is our last sprint. We're just chatting a little bit before we go. So you can go watch this video after we're done chatting. It was very entertaining, even though I was sad about one thing.
it was just the whole thing was a plot twist.
Yeah.
I really didn't think I was gonna like one, and I thought I was gonna love another, and uh,
The twists and the turns, like I put in my comment, I was like, the twists and turns that this video has. 28% of Slewfoot. Nice. I hope you're enjoying it. Are you enjoying The Shadow of What Was Lost? Yes, I am loving The Shadow of What Was Lost. I'm taking my time with it because I don't want to finish it up too early before the live show. So I'm just reading a little bit each day and I'm loving it so freaking much. Like, I would be shocked if I didn't give it 5 stars, even though I still have a ways to go. It's just sometimes you could just tell when a book is going to be 5 stars, and I can tell with this one. Oh wow, so you could read the audio and never even know everything you're missing. Yeah, and I put in the Discord like the exact audiobook line versus the physical book lines, and it's literally like one sentence versus 5 sentences. And the 5 sentences are like fairly important information about how this thing works
oh
that the audiobook just doesn't have. And so yeah, and someone else said that it is like important to know that information for the rest of the book. And I'm like, well, it sucks for just the people that listen to audiobooks, I guess.
yeah,
Hate it when audiobooks are different. Yeah, it's so weird. And it's been happening often enough that there must just be some sort of issue. I'm assuming that the audiobooks get made too early on in the book making process and they just get sent an earlier version of the book that then goes through edits one more time that the audiobook doesn't have those edits for.
yeah. That
That's
makes
just an assumption though. Like I don't know why else it would have differences, but
I don't know. It makes sense though, because a lot of times now, especially audiobooks are published at the same time as the book
mhm.
instead of the book being out and then um, the audio comes later.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm just I think that's why, but don't take my word for it because I've done no research into it. That happened in an audio I did last month. It was extremely annoying. Yeah, like it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen often enough that something behind the scenes is going on. Like this isn't an issue that's exclusive to the Shadow if it was lost.
No, I've seen it mostly with like names being changed or like the British version, like the like if it's by a British author, they put like British words in and then they'll do it like in English. No, not English. Like my brain is stopping. They'll like change it to like the American version of that saying. Like
Yeah.
we don't know what Lou means.
It is always funny how they have like American English and like regular English version, British English, however you want to say it, of books. Because I feel like all of us would be fine with just one version, whether it's the American version or the British version. Like I feel like there's not that much of a disconnect where we need two different editions, but
Like every once in a while there's a like a phrase, but you can usually figure out what it means.
yeah.
Clues. So like
47% into that sharp teeth and really enjoying it. Nice. I think you're the first person, Stephanie, that I've seen reading it. I only recently even heard of this book. Even though I really liked Cackle, I don't know, I didn't really look into the author much and see what the author's backlist was.
I think this one just came out.
Mm-hmm. But I guess I mean like I'm not like keeping up with this author.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love that, or Love That is one of my favorite fantasy series. Yeah, I know you were liking this series, Emma, and so I'm very excited that I'm also liking it. And I know Mel, this is her reread. I feel like Cassidy is going to like this. I don't know. I hope she does, but it'd be cool if we all like it. And then there's a super positive live show, which is always fun. Originally gave book 1 4 stars, but now that I've read the whole trilogy and understand everything going on, I'm hoping to raise the rating. Yeah, I think that's why I'm having so much fun with this book too, is there's so much mystery involved in the plot that I'm just, it's giving me some of the feelings that thrillers sometimes give me too, where I'm like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? And I just want to keep reading to get to like this feels like a fantasy book that's going to have plot twists, and not every fantasy book has plot twists. And so you would still hate this book, Lexi. This is very much epic fantasy, but I'm just having a good time with it because it has those small moments of plot twist type of things. I mean, I don't know for sure if we're gonna get plot twists, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's probably so hard to re-record, yeah, but also such a pain for readers that to have it be different. Yeah,
Especially when it's like actual information that's not just like a word change.
Yeah, I mean, this was literally the physical book had 4 extra sentences of information about how this one magic thing works. And so I'm like, okay, I need that information. It was very confusing when I was following along because I was listening to the audiobook and following along with the physical book. And I thought my eyes just stopped working or something. So I was like, where are we? Like, what is going on? But no, it was just because there were sentences in the physical book that didn't exist in my ears. Hello. Unfortunately, we're about to wrap up these sprints, but I'm glad you're reading. And then there were none. That's one of those books where I read it and I didn't love it, but I'm glad I read it because there's so many things inspired by it that I feel like I gained something for the rest of these spin-off books because I read this original.
I agree.
I had one recently where almost every color mentioned was different throughout the whole book. The coat was blue in print, red in audio, happened like 5 times in the book. Oh my God. And why would you change this in edits? Like, what's the point of having this difference? Because at some point it existed in both forms. Who knows which one came first? I'm assuming the audiobook version. And so what was the edit process? What was the thought process behind saying this coat cannot be blue, it has to be red, or vice versa? Like, what the heck?
So strange.
They never change American English to British, maybe spelling but never words. Interesting.
I don't see it super often, but like every once in a while it happens. And I'm like, why? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They must change it for Americans because they think we're dumb. But I'm like, I think everyone would understand what was going on.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm listening. I might have to DNF this book because I'm just not picking up. DNF it. 100% DNF it. I feel like if you're ever thinking about DNFing a book, the answer is to DNF it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Suspect Cassidy will love it. Yeah, I do too. I'm just like, don't want to like hype her up too much just in case she gets disappointed. Oh yes, there are plot twists. Yeah, it's given the feels, you know, because I'm like, what is going on? And already there's been little reveals along the way, and so I feel like once we get far, I'm still in the first like, I don't know, maybe first, definitely first 25%. So I'm not even that far into it. And if we were already getting these little reveals that are quite satisfying, I can't imagine what kind of stuff is going to go down for the climax of the book. All right, that is it for the sprints today. A bit shorter than they have been, but honestly, 3.5 hours I feel like is still solid sprints.
Mm-hmm.
um, what else is happening this week?
I'm not sure. I mean, we have Hollow Weekend sprints.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Erin Megan's channel. I don't know what other sprints are going to be, like the daytime ones. Oh, Sarah's doing them on Sunday at 12 Eastern. But on my channel, Saturday night, starting at 5 Eastern, going for 12 hours, we're having a slumber party. So there's going to be games. It's going to be so chaotic. Like yeah. So it's the like main Hollow Weekend hosts, and then we'll have guests throughout. Kaylee will be on a couple times. Some other booktubers. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll be on at the beginning, hour and a half, and then at the very end of the sleepover. But in between, I will be there in the comments. So either way, come hang out with me, whether I'm on stream or in the comments with everyone. But yeah, lots of fun stuff to look forward to. And this is the last weekend of Hollow Weekend. So, you know,
I can't believe it.
so sad. I can't believe how fast it went by.
I know.
I'm like sad, but also kind of relieved.
So
I'm not
fun.
even a host. It was so much fun, but there's just so many sprints. But for you sprint loving people, still so many sprints this weekend to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I almost just left the studio instead of ending the podcast. All right, I'll see everyone at some point this weekend, most likely. Bye.
Bye.